What up, folks? Back again, talking about the movie Bloodshot, a character that comes from Valiant Comics, which is kind of interesting because, this is a character that, when you think of Valiant Comics, Bloodshot is the first person that kind of kicks in mind and such. What's interesting about this film comes to us from Dave Wilson. He is a visual effects person. He did Age of Ultron. He did a lot of Star Wars video games and such. Interesting thing about this movie, I should say, is the fact that Bloodshot is a very simple and to the point movie. It's very paint by numbers. You've seen this kind of movie before. The person, false memories, and they're trying to get revenge. We've seen this before. It's interesting the fact that you have this character that Vin Diesel is playing, and Vin Diesel is being Vin Diesel. There's nothing in terms of range with him per se. But I would say it was cool seeing the character kind of change up once he became Bloodshot. The simplicity of the film is, for better or worse, I say worse because more than anything else, the biggest issue with this film is that you get this big information dump in the first act that it basically kind of kills all the good stuff that the second and third act does. I say that because there was a lot of plot points in the film that if they took the time out to maybe take an extra 5 minutes or so to just expand on it a little bit, it would have made the overall plight of the character much better. And you wouldn't have those this happened, and then they just cut to a different scene altogether happening and stuff. And you're just kind of sitting back they could have did better. The whole basis of Bloodshot is that you have Vin Diesel playing Ray Garrison. He's a Marine. And at the outset of the movie, he, is going through this whole mission where, he helps save the hostage and stuff. Once he does that, he meets his wife, and, we get a little bit of time. We get shown that clearly she loves them. They're married, whatever, and stuff. Through a situation where he gets assassinated and stuff, he gets brought back by this scientist played by Guy Pearce. He plays Dr. Harding. And through nanotechnology, he ends up becoming kind of basically like a superhuman machine and dubbed Bloodshot. And he's working alongside these super soldiers. One of them is a blind kid who has this machine on his chest that makes him able to see and stuff. You have another guy who lost his legs in combat, but he got machine legs now and stuff. You got the chick KT played by Eliza Gonzalez. You've probably seen her in Hobbs and Shaw. She played Lady M. And they, they're each kind of super soldiers are working alongside him and stuff. And as per typical, if you saw the trailer and stuff, he lost his memories from that situation and such. And what ends up happening is that, as predicted and stuff, he's losing memories. He goes on these missions, comes back, loses memories and stuff. And he's trying to figure out who got, remember the person that killed his wife, and then getting revenge, and then kind of sees all this, the typical conspiracy theory in these kind of films and stuff. And while for the most part, while these things do work, as I said before, if they took an extra 5 minutes or so to really expand on certain plot elements and stuff, for instance, like Ray and his wife, I felt like in terms of resolutions, in terms of their relationship and stuff, even after what happened and stuff, we would have had a bit more of an emotional connection to those two and stuff in terms of his marriage and all that stuff. And we didn't really get that other than some lip service and gratuitous after sex scene and stuff where they're talking and stuff, but you never felt any sort of connection with those two and such. And I know most people might think that I'm nitpicking, but that kind of stuff matters because it makes you feel for the character when he's going through all this and having to reenact his wife getting constantly killed over and over and over again when he's thinking about it and stuff. And there's kind of a big twist, which you'll definitely see coming a mile away and stuff as you watching and stuff regarding that. But also, too, trying to understand the plight of Guy Pearce's character, Dr. Harding, and stuff, and how it relates to what he wants for Bloodshot. Again, those were situations where I wish they kind of expanded more on how this came to be and what's his connection to, Ray's death and stuff. Again, these are things that the movie doesn't really do a good job. They just kind of, it's lip service and it's just done and that's it. But I also know some people might go into this movie, enjoy it for what it is and such. A minor nitpick of mine, though, also too, the character of Bloodshot has a distinct design feature to him. He's a character who has a pale look, and he has the red dot in the middle and stuff. And we get semblance of that in the movie, but we don't really get that look in the movie. And I know it's Vin Diesel and stuff, but you don't really get that distinct kind of look to the character. It's just Vin Diesel getting shot up and stuff. And I would say the effects of him getting shot up and stuff, the way it is, it looks good in certain spots. It looks dodgy in others, which kind of leads into the action sequences, which the action sequences are fine for what it is. There's a lot of special effects work, in particular one of the characters that Vin fights against. He has this kind of tech suit and stuff that gives him extra arms, but it doesn't function in the way that you think it would for something like that. And it's kind of weird a little bit. But the whole fight sequence, and you saw it in the trailer and stuff, the whole fight sequence, it's okay, but it felt janky at spots. Janky and chaotic more than anything else and stuff. And while it worked in certain spots, others it just didn't. And it just kind of came off like that. But the flip side to that is that you have these cast of characters, and they kept it very tight and stuff on that, which I think is a good thing. You don't have to overbloat it and stuff, so we're hyper focused on these characters to where while you don't care about them, you're still engaged enough to really see how they kind of interact with Ray and such. In particular, you got Lamorne Morris. He plays one of the scientists and stuff. He's actually pretty funny. If you know him and stuff, I think he was in the what the fuck was the name of that movie show? New Girl. Very funny guy. He's pretty funny in this movie as well, playing one of the scientists and stuff. It's kind of funny. The movie has this kind of trope when it comes to hackers and stuff, because he's a scientist, is a hacker as well. They got played up in the 90s where they're just typing on the computer and they're just showing that they're doing something, they're keeping busy and stuff. Again, that's just my nitpick of mine, but it's not really a nitpick so much. I'm just kind of observing that. But Vin playing Ray is Vin Diesel. If you know how Vin Diesel is, he has, when it comes to these kind of action films, particularly when it comes to Triple X and the Fast series, he has one mode, and that's the mode he stays in. You're not going to get any sort of emoting per se. Now, granted, it's the typical Vin Diesel emoting and stuff when something bad happens and stuff, which you get. And that's not, like I said, for some people, it might not, probably majority of folks probably don't even care because they're just there to see this comic book movie and the action and stuff. And like I said, the action, it works for what it is, despite it being janky at times. But you are kind of invested for the most part in this world to really see what's going to happen next and such. And I'm kind of interested because Valiant putting out this movie first makes sense and such, so you're kind of wondering, well, what's going to happen and stuff. And like I said, the movie, it works. I'm not going to say that you, by the end of it, you're going to be like, man, I want to see another Bloodshot Part 2. They probably might do it and stuff. But I'm hoping that this kind of opens the door for more Valiant characters like Ninjak or Exo Manowar, those characters and such. But like I said, the movie overall functions the way it is. It's the typical movie that you've seen before. You'll definitely see a lot of plot points coming a mile away and stuff. And again, not a bad thing and stuff, but most people might want a comic book movie, especially like this, to spice it up a little bit and stuff. And it has its moments, I'm not gonna lie. There's a lot of the technology, so to speak, in terms of the character. Like the character has these nanomachines that go inside of his body, and it makes him connected to all the satellites, and it kind of has that Matrix vibe where he's connected to everything and stuff, and he's able to hunt down these people with efficiency and stuff. And it has a very, like I said, it has a Metal Gear vibe to it a little bit too, with the technology and stuff, because if you've ever played any of the Metal Gear games, that's inherent with Bloodshot and stuff with the nanomachines. But yeah, like I said, overall it's an alright experience and such. I probably say that a 7 out of 10 on it. I'll probably say, hey, go check it out. You'll probably enjoy it and stuff. Just kind of go into this movie kind of like the Triple X films and the Fast and Furious films. You go in, you know what you're expecting out of Vin Diesel, so you just enjoy the ride and enjoy the film for what it is. So I give it a 7 out of 10. It's entertaining. I am definitely curious to see what they do next for this. But like I said, despite some of the stuff that didn't work, like some of the action sequences and some of the plot points and the storyline aspects and stuff, everything else for the most part worked in this film. So yeah, 7 out of 10. Definitely go check out Bloodshot, and we'll catch you guys later. Peace out.